Utopia City, the once colored bright neon city funded by Midas, has been destroyed and conquered by the Swarm. So, yeah, Utopia City has fallen. If you remember a Fortnite theory video I made about the dark truth of where the Swarm and the Queens actually came from, which we know to be the spirit realm, I said that sooner or later, Utopia City will soon fall by the Swarm, thanks to a future painting made by Hope. Well, it did happen sooner or later, because when you go to Utopia City now, it's now conquered and invaded by the Swarm, and the city was now turned into was now known as Dystopian City, conquered by the Swarm and a queen. But it's not just any queen, no. Turns out it is the same queen that was from Demon's Debris. That's why the queen from that location went to Utopia City and conquered the city, invaded there, and turning it into a nest. Now turning it into Dystopian City now. And you may be expecting also Morgan Miss and Killswitch to be there. Well, this is where things get weird, because when you go to Dystopian City now, turns out you won't be able to find them, because they just straight up disappeared. So yes, like Midas, when he disappeared when the invasion began in the very beginning of Chapter 6, Season 4, Morgan and Killswitch also vanished. You won't be able to find them at Dystopian City. There's no matter if you try to find them, you won't be able to. They just straight up disappeared. And none of us now know where they are. It's possible that maybe that Killswitch and Morgan must have escaped the city when it was invaded by the Swarm. That must have been outnumbered, and they had to get out of there as soon as possible, because the city was overrun by the Swarm. And that could explain why we don't see them at the city currently, because they just straight up just left the city when it was invaded by the Swarm, which could make a lot of sense. And you may be thinking, things can get any worse, right? Well, things did get a lot worse, and it has to involve the O.X.R Outposts that we're supposed to defend. We go to the ones that have been protected by, like Daigo, Nairos, Yumi, Mizuki, Kendo, and Jade, right? Well, when you go there, things got even worse, because the Swarm had invaded those places and turned them into nests. And what gets even worse from that, they captured the people that have been protecting those outposts, putting them in pods. Yes, putting them in pods. But it's not just Daigo, Nairos, Yumi, Mizuki, Kendo, and Jade that have been put in those pods, but also the people who've been defending the outposts, who already been turned into nests, are also been captured and put into pods. And those people were Cuddle Team Leader, Meowscles, and Peely. So not only you have to squash the insects from those locations, but you also have to get them out of those pods. So it also became a rescue mission to save the people who have been put in those pods. So yeah, let's just say things are not going good currently. Because not only that Utopia City has been conquered and been invaded by the Swarm and the Queens, but the outposts have now been invaded and they now turn into nests, which is not great. And now with Morgan and Killswitch just straight up disappearing, things are now going to get worse by the moment. But I guess we have to wait for the time being when we can find them and know where they are. But in the meantime, we now have to deal with this situation now involving Utopia City being conquered by the Swarm, Morgan and Kill Switch's disappearance, and the outposts now being invaded. So anyways, that's it. As all you need to know what's going on currently right now in Chapter 6 Season 4 Shocking Awesome, not only about Utopia City now being attacked by the Swarm, but also Morgan and Kill Switch's disappearance, but the outposts now being invaded. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Comment down below what your favorite things to do in Fortnite: creativity, batting players, Fortnite ballistic, Fortnite reload, the arrival of Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 5 OG. Comment down below what your favorite things to do in Chapter 6 Season 4. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos from me. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye!